Thanks as always for being with me. These are the top stories at 8 p.m. 32 car bombs. That was the plan, not just the one that exploded. It's far bigger than what you think. It was an elaborate plan involving vehicles in different parts of the national capital, and we've got the file on each and every one of them. That's coming right up as my lead story. Meanwhile, sinister Shaheen's Jaish handler has been revealed. That's right. Dr. Shaheen of Al Falah University did have a handler. We're going to show you her picture. We're going to take her name. No surprises where she's located. The heat is on Al Falah University in the Delhi NCR. That's become the epicenter of the entire conspiracy. From funding to the founder to fudging, it's all in focus. And the heat is building on this so-called educational institution. And away from the Delhi blast that continues to be our big focus, who will get the Bihar crown? Bihar's destiny begins to unfold 6 a.m. tomorrow, live here on NDTV. The original election reporting team has you covered 6 a.m. tomorrow. But let me tell you what the 4 angles I have tonight on the Delhi blast story. Now, don't be confused, viewer. I know that the media is bombarding you with a huge amount of information, but I'm going to simplify it, distill it, and tell you what is important to know at this point of time. Number 1 angle, it wasn't 1 car, it wasn't 2 cars, it wasn't 3 or 4 or 10 cars. There were 32 vehicles believed to be part of an elaborate car bomb plot. That's my first angle. Angle number 2, the doctors' network, the white-collar network, which you so far thought was 5 or 6 doctors, has expanded to a disturbing degree. And I will give you a number of how many doctors the intelligence agencies believe could actually be involved in this entire nightmare. Angle number 3, Dr. Shaheen. We've got more pictures of her, more details of her. We've got the file on her past and how she was radicalized. It's an incredible story. You don't want to miss. And finally, angle number 4 is the crackdown on Al Falah University. We are the only network that's been responding to facts, has been reporting facts. We sent a reporter inside the Al Falah University, not for any sensation, but to show you what's happening on the inside. That exclusive report by my colleague Ali also comes out in just a bit. But let's go straight to our lead angle tonight. We've told you already about the doctors, we've told you about their design, but this was a plot that was hatched from January this year and has become a nightmare of sorts. You've been told about the I-20 that exploded in front of the Red Fort, killing 9 people. We've also reported to you about a Red Ford EcoSport. You've heard about a Maruti Suzuki Brezza. But here's the truth. It wasn't just 4 cars like you're seeing in this composite image here. There were 32 cars believed to be part of a very structured and detailed plan that the intelligence agencies believe would have played out as a series of car bomb attacks in different parts of the country. And not just that, the strikes were planned to coincide with the Babri Masjid demolition anniversary, which is December the 6th, which is less than a month from now. That's when they plan to strike with 32 cars, we are told. Now, I have some questions about these details, and I will articulate them on my show tonight because it was worse than we think. But how did it come to this point? The stunning details of the doctor's plots, I will talk about them, but I will also ask the hard questions, because as these details unravel and as the plot actually unfolds in real time in the media, here on NDTV, we are being skeptical about certain aspects of it and are asking the real questions. Because from Dr. Shaheen to Dr. Muzammil to Dr. Umar, who was in the car that blew up, the Jaish-e-Mohammed had a very serious, very capable sleeper cell that has just been revealed in the heart of India's national capital region. 4 cars have been busted in this Lashkar-e-Terror. But it's actually, like I said again, worse than we think. The Delhi conspiracy began with the doctors, like I said, planning 32 simultaneous or serial car bombs. Just imagine for a moment, viewer, how that 1 car bomb made a country react. Imagine 32 car bombs going off in succession in the middle of the national capital. They had planned coordinated serial blasts. They were planned attacks, like I said, on December the 6th, which was the Babri Masjid demolition anniversary. All Delhi icons, landmarks, big heritage sites, the Lal Killa itself, probably Parliament, railway stations, etc., were all terror targets, including obviously temples as well, because the intention was to also not just create mass casualties and kill a lot of people, but also trigger communal tension in the country. The doctors had in effect planned massive devastation. There were 50 locations. I've just named a few of them. Dr. Umar, Dr. Shaheen and the others had planned on at least 50 locations in the national capital, and it is disturbing the detail into which they actually went, because they recce'd the southeast district of the national capital to the east district. I, by the way, am located somewhere here in western Uttar Pradesh. That's where NDTV's offices are. They recce'd all these places from the east district, the Ring Road and Central District, which is the heart of the national capital, where the VIP zone is, and then finally the North District, also Ashok Vihar, and the Northwest District. Finally, they came down to the Central District and ended in the Red Fort. So this line you see here, pretty much spanning all of Delhi except for the south and western parts of the national capital, were physically and personally recce'd by Dr. Umar, who finally blew himself up at the Red Fort, which means that ultimately with 32 cars and 50 locations, they had a structured plan to create perhaps the most devastating series of serial attacks in the national capital. Now let me tell you about the cars. You've already heard about the Hyundai i20 that blew itself up. There was absolutely nothing left, but there was a Swift Dzire, which is where it all actually began, because that was the car that was used by Dr. Shaheen and then used by Muzammil to store weapons. That's right. The Maruti Suzuki Swift is actually the first car that was recovered because weapons were found inside Dr. Shaheen's car. Now, things are going to get a little complicated here, so I want you to pay very close attention to this, viewer. The car was seized from Lucknow at the location where Dr. Shaheen used to live. That is from where the weapons were recovered. Now you come to the white Hyundai i20. That car everyone knows about because that's the car that blew up in front of the Red Fort on Monday evening. That's the blast car. That was used for the terror attack. It was destroyed near the Red Fort. Car number 3 is the Red EcoSport. Now, for many hours yesterday, there was a huge scare in the national capital. I remember getting WhatsApp messages on my friends groups and college groups and people asking, what is this Red EcoSport? It went viral. People were talking about it because the Delhi police had said that there is a Red EcoSport outside somewhere out there, and it could be a transport car, it could be suspicious. This car has been found now. It's been linked to Dr. Umar, who is the bomber who perished in the bombing on Monday evening. This Red EcoSport was apparently used to store and transport the ammonium nitrate. Now, when the car was found, it didn't have any explosive inside it, but it is said to have been a transportation or a mule vehicle for some of that explosive. This was seized from a Haryana farmhouse. Car number 4 is a Maruti Brezza. This was considered to be the escape car. It was apparently purchased by Dr. Shaheen recently. The original plan was to use the Brezza for the actual bombing, but for reasons not clear to us, at least for now, the Hyundai i20 was used for the bombing. Now I want to come to Dr. Shaheen, because Dr. Shaheen is alive. She has been arrested, the only woman who has been apprehended so far, and the person understood now to be the key executor of the entire plot. She was in touch with Dr. Umar. She was in touch with Dr. Muzammil and Adil as well. All of them are under arrest, and their colleague in terror, Dr. Umar, is dead in the bombing. Now she obviously wasn't acting alone, because we can now identify her handler, her recruiter, and it is this young woman. A woman we can now categorically identify as Afira Bibi. She was Dr. Shaheen's handler. Where is she based? Well, do I even need to tell you? She is based in Pakistan. She heads the Jaish-e-Mohammed's women's wing. Remember that name, because you're going to be hearing a lot of that name. Afira Bibi. We don't know how old she is. She looks pretty young. She is Masood Azhar's niece. Let me repeat that. The Jaish-e-Mohammed's chief and founder Maulana Masood Azhar, one of India's most wanted terrorists. That is his niece, and she, Afira Bibi, is the handler of Dr. Shaheen, who's been arrested from Al Falah University in Delhi, NCR. Let me tell you a little bit more about Dr. Shaheen, because the files on her contain even more disturbing details. Revelation number one, Dr. Shaheen had moved her cubicle inside Al Falah University to a private space. We don't know if this was authorized. We don't know if she was allowed to do this, but she had moved it to a private space where she basically wasn't sharing space with other teachers and other professors where she was employed. Revelation number two, Dr. Shaheen took one class in 2 months, and this never raised any suspicion within the university, which wants us to believe that they are not liable for the actions of these terrorists. Revelation number three, Dr. Shaheen had 3 close links in the university. 3 close links inside the university. Muzammil, who's also been arrested, Dr. Muzammil, frequently visited Shaheen's home on campus inside Al Falah University. Revelation number 5, the principal of Al Falah University received complaints against Dr. Shaheen in the past for various things. We're not talking about terror, but various complaints had existed against her, which is normal. That isn't instantly alarming, but it is now part of the case files against her because it is perhaps all indicative of what could have actually been. But the big focus continues to be the scale of the Delhi conspiracy. Dr. Shaheen is only one small element of what we can now describe as a much larger terror attack plan. Not one Hyundai i20 exploding outside the Red Fort, but 32 cars potentially being detonated on the same day. December the 6th is what our sources tell us was the overarching plan to send out a symbolic message on the anniversary of the Babri demolition for maximum casualties, maximum psychological impact, symbolism, political statement, all of it rolled into one spectacular series of blasts in India's national capital. That is what the plan was. Let's go to the experts and get a quick view on this. Ejaz Wani is a strategic studies program, is part of the strategic studies program at the Observer Research Foundation, is an expert on the region's security dynamics, including terrorism and radicalization. Kulbir Krishan is a former Intelligence Bureau officer and a former Director General of Police. Lieutenant General Satish Dua is former Chief of the Integrated Defence Staff. Welcome to all of you. Thank you very much for being with me. Kulbir Krishan, 32 cars, serial blasts, 2,900 kilograms of explosives, 50 targets recce'd in various parts of Delhi. December 6th, Babri Masjid anniversary, Jaish-e-Mohammed sleeper cell, with white-collar personnel basically being the architects of this entire design. How do you read this, sir?
Thank you for having me. This is a diabolical plot, and a lot of alarm bells and red flags have to go up because this cell was working for almost 10-11 months and has been found out just because of good old-fashioned police work by SSP Srinagar, following up the leads and going systematically from one place to another over 3 weeks.
Yeah.
However, to my mind, there was a little premature leak of information or sharing of information with the media, due to which this bomb blast could occur and Muhammad Nabi could escape with the I-20. If a little restraint had been used, we could perhaps have rounded up all the members of the module and precious lives could have been saved. But be that as it may, a much bigger and more serious plot has been prevented. But the fact remains that how did we not find out about this? For this, my personal view is that they have used very good technology, but we have the entire government's resources. So we need something like GCHQ Cheltenham, where we can intercept calls, particularly foreign calls to Pakistan, Turkey, Bangladesh, and other enemical nations. Perhaps we don't have that, and we have to wake up and find that.
Okay.
Number two, how could this Al Falah University continue for so long in such a way? It cannot wash its hands off. In fact, it's supposed to have 76 acres of land. If you want to build a house, you need to change the land use. And normally, agricultural land use is not easily changed into any other thing like university or other
Yeah,
things. Did
yeah.
they have the permissions?
No, we
I doubt
will
very
ask the
much.
questions about Al Falah in just a moment. I want to keep it as focused and structured, this discussion, as possible. Otherwise, we'll be covering everything under the sun. Lieutenant General Dua, the fact that there was this huge, elaborate plan, by one little sleeper cell, 32 cars, 50 targets, a series of blasts. Could this have been possible without, help from the other side, sir? And I mean material, logistical, elaborate level help?
Short answer, Shiv, is no. I don't think this could be an act organic to a sleeper cell and some terrorists over here. We are seeing a big shift in the strata of terrorism, in the terrorists. I mean, they're all doctors,
Yeah.
educated people. It is not from the same, we normally see a certain strata of society and we feel that the radicalized terrorists would come from the lower strata. That's not the case. And this is something that is that happened in Delhi after 14 years. 2011 was the last blast in Delhi. This huge network unearthed or started by the SSP in Srinagar, it showed very good coordination between the police forces, because the J&K police coordinated with Haryana police and coordinated with UP police to make different raids and put all these cogs together. But the larger question is, why Delhi and why now?
Yeah.
And to my mind, whatever they may have done, I'm talking about Pakistan, whatever they may have done in the aftermath of Operation Sindoor, however they may sell it to their domestic audience as a win, but the fact is, the Pakistan military and the deep state is smarting after the drubbing that it got in Operation Sindoor. And to my mind, they would like to show some response. This is the kind of response they're looking at. The Jaish-e-Mohammed, now the links are pointing to Jaish-e-Mohammed. I do concede that Jaish has not come out and claimed responsibility, perhaps because it wasn't intended to be this way. It was supposed to be something else happened in between because of all. So the Jaish, we know that their leader Masood Azhar lost 10 or 11 of his close family members. We also know that recently he started openly making speeches in Pakistan. I think, all in all, this is a plot to shake. I mean, Kashmir is a very robust grid, and Delhi, like you also pointed out, is symbolism.
Yeah.
It does not matter how many lives we lost. It is a question of, lives matter. I'm saying the number of lives. It is symbolism.
Correct.
Symbolism of national Red Fort, Parliament. These are symbols of a nation.
Yeah.
So to that extent, I think it's an attack on our country. And last sentence, I would say, let us remember that no less than the Prime Minister has said an act of terror will be treated as an act of war. And I'm sure we will see response.
And we hear it is going to be treated as an act of war, even as the investigation continues. Ejaz Wani, in the context of these details that have come out, how do you read this entire conspiracy? Post-Operation Sindoor, the will to strike back, symbolism, spectacle, what do you think?
Sir, I will go a little back to the abrogation in 2019, when there was a policy shift from the New Delhi, accompanied by enhanced security measures and accelerated development, which significantly reduced terrorism within the valley. And there was a geographical shift. From 2020, we saw a geographical shift towards Pir Panchal first, then Jammu region. And during same time, what Pakistan did, they started more and more smuggling of narcotics. Because of FATF, they were under grey list, and IB was used to finance their proxy war in Kashmir. And secondly, that narcotics within Kashmir became a bigger problem. As of today, we see 1.4 million drug users in Kashmir Valley. So then comes their problem. They want to change the geography every time. Once they were in Jammu, and Jammu security apparatus became more strong. So they started to change the geography. And secondly, what Doha sir said, that after Operation Sindoor, when many of the family members and well-wishers of Jaish Mohammed Chief Masood Azhar were killed, so this was a conspiracy against India. So they want to have some suicide bombers in New Delhi. So that is the case. So this is the geographical shift to what we see in terrorism after 2019 to me. Secondly, the white-collar terrorism which we are discussing. They were using white-collar terrorism before 2019 also for fundraising, for radicalizing, rather than direct involvement. But this time, what they did, they started direct involvement of those white-collar terrorists. That is the bigger problem for me. If I may be asked, what should we do? First of all, I want to see whether those who are involved in this bigger conspiracy, they were using drugs. This is the bigger question to me. Because I know from 2018-19 when I started writing on drugs and how those drugs came into Kashmir and how they were used for logistic support, for getting our ground support. So the bigger question here is whether those doctors and others who were involved in this larger terror conspiracy, whether they were also using drugs. And second thing, last thing is, as radicalization is a continuous process, the blast which we saw near Red Fort was panic blast. But to me, he was not radicalized to that extent because they were having time frame, as you said, in December. So it was a panic blast because he was not radicalized fully. That is why I salute the security agencies, especially in J&K, who from a smaller postal, started and grabbed hold of all this terror sleeper cell.
I want to show our viewers now, gentlemen, stay with me. I want to show your viewers, since we're talking about radicalization and all these doctors who've been arrested now, one of them was dead in the blast. Ijaz, you're saying that he wasn't fully radicalized. That the investigation, we'll never know enough about Umar because he's gone in the blast itself. But Dr. Shaheen has become one of the, the emotive faces of this entire thing because she is the most recognized face now. She's one of those who's alive. The other two are men. She's the only woman. So everyone is talking about Shaheen. And this just shows you the evolution of Shaheen from a, happy-go-lucky sort of college kid, schoolgirl, smiling in a couple of photos, grim in the last two photos until she was completely radicalized. I think these 4 photos tell you the story of Dr. Shaheen Shahid perhaps better than anything else. Watch this report about Dr. Shaheen that gives you more details.
As the probe in the Delhi blast gathers space and widens, new and sinister layers are emerging on one of the prime members of the Jaish Faridabad module, Dr. Shaheen Saeed, the woman tasked with Jaish-e-Mohammed to set up a women's wing in India. The Al-Falah doctor, NDTV has learned, was in touch with Jaish founder Maulana Masood Azhar's niece, Afira Bibi, who is believed to be her handler. Agency sources say she also regularly received funds. At the defamed university, her colleagues remember Shaheen as a strange woman who told colleagues that her real work began after 4 p.m., that is after university hours. As NDTV entered the Al Falah campus, our team learnt that Shaheen had her cubicle moved to a private space as she feared others could overhear her conversations. She also had a reputation for indiscipline at the varsity as she took only one class in 2 months, and that the principal regularly got complaints about her conduct. Sources have also told NDTV that she was very close to Dr. Muzammil, from whom 2,900 kilos of explosive material was seized, and that he would frequent Shaheen's home on campus. Muzammil also drove Shaheen's Dzire car from which ammunition was recovered. Shaheen's new Brezza car that she had bought recently has been found at the Al Falah campus and is part of the terror probe. A resident of Lucknow's Lal Bagh, Shaheen was arrested on Monday, hours before a panicked fourth member of the terror cell, Umar, exploded the I-20 car near Red Fort. Bureau Report, NDTV.
University that employed all of these doctors, Al Falah University, has tried to defend itself once again, but there is too much heat on them. Can they remain open? Can they dodge the consequences of what's coming for them? Can they say, we had nothing to do with these 4 doctors? Well, you already know the answer to that, but I'm going to tell you even more on the other side. Stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Edge 60 Pro. Grab Motorola Edge 60 Pro today.
Co-presented by Motorola Edge 60 Pro. Grab Motorola Edge 60 Pro today.
Co-powered by Finesta, India's #1 windows and doors brand. And Protan Santacid Gel. Eat happily, live happily.
Long night?
You have no idea.
I got you.
Motorola Edge 60 Pro. Hello, Moto.
Inspired by flowers. Bloom series fans from Usha. 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 Inspired by flowers. Bloom series fans from Usha.
भारत सरकार ने सभी देशवासियों के हित में हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस से जीएसटी पूरी तरह से हटाकर 0 कर दिया है। इससे हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस काफी सस्ता हो गया है। पॉलिसी बाजार पर अब 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 550 रुपए महीने से शुरू। PolicyBazaar.com।
Hi, I'm Gaurav Mehta and I'm the CEO.
No, you're a founder.
No.
Yep.
I'm not a founder.
Yes, you are.
What's going on here?
I'm Aarti Nanji and I play tennis for
But you're also a founder.
Founder?
Yes.
Who's my co-founder, by the way?
You don't have one yet. Your wealth is your first startup. Don't just manage it, scale it with the right co-founder. We see your vision and unlock the true potential of your wealth. Ionic Wealth, co-founder in your journey of wealth creation.
Every claim settled on time. Galaxy Health Insurance, a new standalone health insurance company with you forever.
Long night?
You have no idea.
I got you.
Motorola Edge 60 Pro. Hello, Moto.
The name Al Falah University seems suddenly so familiar to everyone because everyone is talking about it. It is the university in the Delhi National Capital Region where the doctors of terror were all employed, including Dr. Umar and including who knows how many more doctors who were probably part of the entire Delhi blast conspiracy. Al Falah is a name that you're not going to be forgetting in a hurry because it also is not only in the epicenter of the Delhi blast, but has faced heat in the past as well. Currently, it's a multi-agency probe into Al Falah. Its funding is currently under investigation. The Enforcement Directorate is looking at various complaints against the university. The police has raided the Al Falah campus in both Delhi as well as in Faridabad, and trouble is mounting for what is increasingly being seen as a terror hub right now. The founder of Al Falah is also in focus right now and will probably face action. The question continues to echo. Is this university a terrorist hub, or was it only one sleeper cell that was operating out of the university's campus? Can they wash their hands of it and say, we had nothing to do with these guys? The conspiracy was hatched, remember, literally on Al Falah University's campus. Happened at Al Falah. Sources have helped NDTV piece together many of those things to decode the entire plot. Now bear with me because this gets a little detailed, but this will be the most sober, non-sensational revelation of information that is part of the investigation, and we have received permission to use some of this. Chapter number 1, the funding. The accused doctors pooled cash amounting to about 26 lakh rupees. Not a large sum of money, but more than enough to conduct a devastating terror attack, apparently. Because that sum of money was handed to Dr. Umar, the bomber, for safekeeping, 26 lakh rupees. He used the money to buy 26 quintals of fertilizer. The fertilizer cost around 3 lakh rupees each. Supplies were bought from Gurugram, the place called Nu, and in nearby towns. This fertilizer was intended to be used to make IEDs. Now, ammonium nitrate is an important part of certain fertilizers, but explosives and bombs can also be made from fertilizers because of the precursor chemicals that are used in them. That's chapter 1. Let's come now to chapter 2, which is the meeting and the actual plot. Building number 17 in Al Falah University was apparently where the secret meetings used to take place between the various conspirators of this Jaish-e-Mohammed module. Room number 13 in building 17 was used to make certain plans and take stock of logistical decisions of the movement of explosives, vehicles, etc. Remember those 32 cars I was telling you about. Room number 13 belonged to Dr. Muzammil, who's under arrest right now by the Jammu and Kashmir police. The plans were to carry out blasts in Delhi and in neighboring Uttar Pradesh. Remember, Faridabad, where this university is in Haryana, all part of the Delhi metropolitan area. Now comes to chapter 3, which is the smuggling of the chemicals which were integral to the entire blast plan. The plot was to smuggle chemicals from the university laboratory, which the university has denied, by the way, to Muzammil's room. The chemicals, possibly hydrogen peroxide, which is an oxidizer, sulfuric acid, etc., were part of that list. Chemicals, if mixed, formed something called a piranha solution. Now, a piranha solution mixed with fertilizers becomes, we are told, highly, highly explosive, and that is what the Jaish-e-Mohammed module at Al-Falah University was looking out for. Chemicals allegedly used to make these explosives that may have been used on the 10th of November. Chemicals taken to Dhauj, which is the village where Al-Falah University is situated. Dr. Muzammil's room was seized and sealed by the police. They recovered electronic devices, pen drives, they've taken data dumps as well. That's the reason why they have a lot of information about these doctors. Now, there is a multi-agency lens already on Al-Falah. You already know that the National Investigation Agency is probing the doctors in the Delhi blast case. The Enforcement Directorate is probing university funding. Police raids are happening at the Trust's Delhi office. Medical Council may lose medical college status. The NAAC on notice over expired accreditation for both engineering and medicine. I've just received a message from someone who has told me that the letter from the NAAC has been sent to them. AIU has suspended membership of the Al-Falah University. So all round 360 degrees, nobody wants to have anything to do with them. Their accreditations have been cancelled and all agencies have descended to investigate them. Now we come to the founder of the Al-Falah University. And this is an exclusive report filed by my young colleague Tejshri Purandare. The name Javed Ahmad Siddiqui, that's the man you see on your screen, is the founder of Al-Falah, founder and trustee. He has been linked to 9 registered companies. He's director of software, investment and energy companies. Just another businessman. 9 companies connected through Al-Falah. He's been booked in the past for fraud and cheating in 2000. He's been accused of using forged documents in the past. In the 2000 fraud case, the founder floated fake investment schemes. He orchestrated a 7.5 crore financial scam at that time, we are told. Funds diverted to his personal bank accounts. He was jailed for 3 years in a financial scam as well. So this is a university and an institution that has foundations of questionable morality and standard operating procedures going right up to its founder itself. So one wonders whether they have the integrity now or the credibility to say that they had nothing to do with these terrorists operating literally from their soil. Take a look at this.
The 1011 blast probe is now centered around here. The Al-Falah University in Faridabad, near the capital. This is where Dr. Shaheen, Dr. Umar, Dr. Muzammil hatched the terror conspiracy. NDTV has accessed images from inside the Al-Falah campus. It is here at building number 17, room number 13, that Dr. Muzammil would hold meetings. It's here that the 3 doctors plotted to carry out a big strike. Sources tell NDTV the doctors planned to plant 32 car bombs and a big strike on 6 December, the anniversary of the Babri Masjid demolition. The plan was to trigger coordinated serial blasts in Delhi and Uttar Pradesh. The doctors of terror pooled in 26 lakh rupees and handed it to Dr. Umar, the Red Ford serial bomber. Faculty members at the university allegedly acquired chemicals from the lab that were used to make explosive material.
तली है कि जो डॉक्टर शाहीन सईद जो हैं वो अपनी जो क्लासेस थी वो क्लासेस में भी जो अटेंडेंस लगती थी वो अटेंडेंस नहीं लगाती थी और ये कहा जाता है कि वो जब उनके जो हेड तक भी हैं वो भी कई बार उन्होंने शिकायत कर दी है कि इनकी कि ये बिल्कुल अनुशासन में नहीं रहती थी, ये अलग ही तरीके से रहती थी, अब कोई अपनी बात किसी की भी नहीं मानती थी, सिर्फ अपनी ही मानती थी। शाहीन सईद हैं वो ये तक भी उन्होंने कहा है अपने ही कुलीगों से कि मेरा तो यहाँ पे सिर्फ कुछ ही टाइम वक्त में तो अपना टाइम एक तरीके से गुजार रही हूँ, असल जो मेरी जो वक्त होता है जो काम करती हूँ वो मैं 4 बजे के बाद करती हूँ।
Top government sources have told NDTV that the government has ordered an enforcement directorate probe into the funding of Al Falah University. Financial investigation agencies have now swung into action. A forensic audit of the university's accounts has also been ordered. The Economic Offences Wing has been asked to examine the functioning of the university as well. With Anushka Garg in Faridabad, NDTV Bureau Report.
So it is very clear that the Al Falah University was not confined in its link to 10-11 to just these 4 terrorists. More people have been questioned. There are buildings, there are meeting rooms, there is a room 13 where meetings were taking place, and any institution would have been aware that ammunition, explosives were being stored in the homes of their employees, that secret meetings were taking place, and elaborate plans were being hatched from their soil. So the question remains, can Al Falah University now say, we had no idea, we had nothing to do with this? Why are all the institutions and agencies and investigators now descending on Al Falah University? Is it totally appropriate or is it simply unfair is the question. Joining me tonight, Shubhrashta, political analyst and author, Sarfaraz Wani, political analyst, advocate with the Jammu and Kashmir High Court. Shubhrashta, I want to come to you first. I think we can all agree that Al Falah University isn't as innocent as it has officially claimed in a statement on day one, saying that they are shocked, that they have no idea, that this happened without any of their knowledge, because as the layers come off, it has become clear that it isn't just these 4 doctors who were employed by Al Falah University, but many questionable actions over their standard operating procedures, their integrity, their credibility, which seems to have created a breeding ground for this Jaish-e-Mohammed sleeper cell. Shubhrashta.
Yes, Shiv, there are 2 things to this. Number one is, if the university does not know what's going on inside the premises, why should it remain a university in the very first place?
Yeah.
Is there no administration? Do they have no, control over what is discussed in either the classrooms or in digital spaces? Because it is about the moral temperature of a university. If the moral temperature of the university is so corroded, I don't think there is any point in the university being, existing. I think the government of India, that's what the Twitter chatter said, I have really not verified this. I think the government of India has gone ahead and cancelled the accreditation of the university.
Yes.
And I think it's a fantastic move. Any university which tampers with the basic sovereignty of this country, which is involved even in surreptitious ways, and this is a direct indictment, by the way, in Al Falah's case, in harming the country in any which way, spreading terror modules, this is what should happen. And the second point is the larger question of Islamic terror and our inability to articulate it in its full gravitas and politically incorrect, if it were, grammar. We need to understand that it is a reality that not just India, globally, we are facing that kind of a problem. I remember an actor, a French actor, speaking to me almost a decade ago and saying, for a journal that I was putting up, and for saying that I do not know if I would be able to recognize Paris in a couple of years from now. And look at what is happening in Paris. Look at what is happening in almost all, the European and American cities. There is a problem. These are specific modules that have a pattern. If we do not recognize that pattern and if we do not have conversations around it, I don't think policymakers in this country or elsewhere will be able to tackle the issue. And in a democracy, it is more important that we have public conversations on these without inciting sentiments.
100%. And that is the bigger zoomed out issue. But I want to bring it back to the Al Falah University because that is the case in point here. Sarfaraz Wani, why shouldn't Al Falah University be shut down? Because as Shubhrashta says, if they have no idea what's going on their campus, what right do they have to remain a university?
Issue, first of all, law does not believe in assumptions, law does not believe in presumptions, and law does not believe in generalizations, right? So just because there have been some activities going on, we cannot generalize it. We cannot there are, I guess, thousands of students, hundreds of professors. So you cannot generalize that everybody is involved, right? So the university was registered. It must be registered under some process. There was a proper registration, and getting a medical college license is not as easy. You have to go through all that.
So cancel
So
the
now,
registration
if
now.
ED, let me make my point. If ED is investigating, let ED make a fair investigation, and after that, let the government decide. Why would
but the
we
point
here
I'm
in the
making-
panel decide
No, but
that
Sarfaraz,
and make somebody,
I have no
make the
intention to
director
interrupt.
also culpable?
The point I'm
make
making
all
is,
the students also culpable. I think this is not fair.
The point
this
I'm
is
making,
not fair.
No, the point I'm making is, how can the university turn around and say we had no idea what was going on? I am merely saying, due procedure will happen, sir. I am simply saying, what right does a university have to exist if they turn around and say we have no idea that that a terror plot was being hatched on our campus? Then why should they be trusted with anything, including the education of
the
students?
whole university itself? See, I know this is very this should not have happened at all, but the question is, what's our right to question the whole university and the whole management?
Why not? I am literally asking you, why not? How, if they don't know it, why should they be allowed to operate anything
I am
at all?
telling you, let ED, this case has been taken up by multiple investigating agencies, right? There is ED, there is Delhi Police, there is Jammu and Kashmir Police.
I'll tell you why this is a question, Sarfaraz. Please let me make my point. It's because people like you are more concerned. You're more concerned about the university. You're more concerned about the university campus and the other students and the other teachers and the principal, rather than the fact that a terror attack has happened and the cell was practically operating from their campus, and the university wants us to think that nobody knew about it.
See, first of all, who did investigation in the case? It is the Jammu and Kashmir Police, the Muslim officers who worked here.
When did I bring in religion? When did I bring in religion?
That's what I'm saying. We should not blame a university.
When did I bring in religion, sir? I'm talking about a university here.
Just because Al-Falah University, we Muslims have very few universities. Understand this.
Sir,
you cannot go on
that does not give it the right to exist. You're saying Muslims have very few universities, so please allow a few of them to function, even if they accommodate terror. What rubbish is this?
Bring them to justice, but do not bring the whole university as a culprit. Everybody. There are 5,000 students. Will you go on and say 5,000 students
those students are unsafe? Those students are unsafe. Shubhrashta, you would agree with me. Those students are unsafe. The very fact that the university has not been able to give the innocent students of Al-Falah a safe campus to function and study and pursue their dreams, functioning and pursuing academics just a few hundred meters away from where a terrorist plot was being hatched, means this university has no right to exist. Those safe students should be elsewhere. They should not be in Al-Falah. It should be shut down. That is my extreme view. Shubhrashta.
Not at all. This is not a reasonable argument.
Absolutely. So, the gentleman was talking about how there are thousands of professors and, students and all of that. I think Shiv, when you say that, you actually speak for all of them who have no linkage to this kind of terror plot being hatched.
Yeah.
It is important not just to ensure their physical and emotional safety, but also their ideological safety.
Yes.
We need to understand that when one enters into a profession like medicine or engineering or all these professions which have a technical angle to them, there is very little ideological indoctrination or education that has happened prior to, we getting into these institutes.
So shutting down universities is not a solution.
We did not come across terms like
universities is not a solution.
Islam and jihad and all of that. So allow me to speak. I did not speak when you were speaking. The problem is exactly this: the intellectual justification or the intellectual protection cover to these agents of I don't know what kind of state, but definitely political Islam, either fueled by foreign agencies or by the ideological issues that Islam itself has. If Muslims do not speak against it, it is going to be a problem. I think, let me give a shout out to a letter that was shared by Mr. Shashi Tharoor today. And I think 5 eminent Indian Muslims have written an open letter saying that they condemn the attack and all of that. We need more voices like that. One may find issues with that letter. I'm not trying to deny the critique around it. But people need to come out in the open, and they need to come out from within the community.
I am worried. Sarfaraz Wani, I take your point, but I'll tell you why you are extremely wrong. Because you are saying, let the others study. Why do you want to allow those students, those innocent students to study in Al-Falah University when terrorism is happening on that campus? Sir, I am worried about those students. I want blameless Muslim students of Al-Falah University to have a good, safe education in a place where they are not vulnerable to radicalization, where they are not vulnerable to being close to, 2,900 kilograms of explosives being stored in somebody's house. Is that where you want to send young Muslims to study?
The solution is not shutting down universities. So
it should not only be shut down, in my view, it should be razed to the ground.
You booked all the... So this is what a jingoistic ideology is all about. Raising ground, bulldozing, doing all this.
Terrorist attack.
I think this is somehow...
I am actually a little shocked. I am a little shocked.
You are speaking the language of all those people who are on my Instagram trolls and speaking bulldoze.
So it is
all those madrasas, bulldoze, all those mosques. I think we need to understand this is not the way, right?
So are you trying to say that...
Everybody has a right. Everybody has every religion has a right to exist and to practice its
obligation. You are trying to hide behind religiosity.
I'm not diverting.
No,
there is no right to bulldoze any place.
Your legal argument was fine.
You cannot bulldoze a university.
This religion argument
you cannot bulldoze a university
Shubhrashta has
just because it has a Muslim name.
Shubhrashta has a question for you.
Bring all the people.
Sorry, Sarfaraz, but all these, you accuse us of talking like trolls. Let me tell you, you are talking like a fundamentalist jihadi right now. If you're speaking to us in the language that you are, let me explain how. Nobody is saying that Islam. Please let me explain.
This is nonsense.
In a secular country like India, we are not demanding that Islam doesn't exist. We are saying that any terror organization or any terror network or any terror module that is even if it is linked peripherally to Islam shouldn't exist, and that is not an indictment of Islam. That is an indictment of a politically vicious version of Islam, which should not exist in a democracy. It's my simple point. I don't understand why can't you differentiate between what a troll is saying, who is making a communal argument about destabilizing the country by completely uprooting Islam from this country, and the argument that which we are bringing to the table. Remove any kind of politics and political indoctrination that is happening in the name of Islam.
You have harmed.
If you cannot make a difference between these two nuanced arguments, I think, sir, you are a troll.
Let me complete. Had you seen
please do not get personal and call any one of us troll here.
Yeah.
No. Had you seen the reaction of the public in Kashmir? You see many places came up, many places erupted, and there were protests for something which happened in Delhi.
Sir, so
this is something which you need to understand. That people, we equally are grieved.
But none of that
as
matters.
Muslims, as the citizens of this country, we are grieved by all that.
If you think
but
that
doesn't
due process
mean
against Al-Falah, questions being asked,
we are
and us saying that this is not just about those terrorists, is about being anti-Muslim, that is ridiculous. This is a national security issue, sir.
When somebody makes comments against all the Muslims,
and you're trying to
we are also hurt.
What are you saying?
We are also the citizens of the country. We have equal rights in this country, right?
No, sir, please answer this question with a very calm head. Did any one of us, did Shiv or I say that you are a terrorist? Did any one of us make that claim? Even in insidious ways?
What is the sense of making that you bulldoze a university, right? There are students.
No, I don't think we're talking about bulldozing a university.
I didn't say that. I said it.
Shiv made a comment.
I will stand by it. I will qualify the remark as I bring this to a close.
What about the career of all the students? What about the future of all the students?
I'll tell you.
So I am saying go.
Let me have the last word, Sarfaraz. I'm out of time.
Book all the culprits.
I'm out of time, but I will say
every culprit.
I will say
not spare even one culprit.
Let me just have the last word.
Please do not generalize. Who have already lost their loved ones. When we have families where young members have been maimed, they need some kind of justice.
Okay.
Even if the university is bulldozed, you cannot use innocent students as a shield to say the university should not, should exist. I'm sorry that
let law take its course.
I will take the last word.
Or metaphysical.
My last word on this is by saying don't destroy the careers of students, Sarfaraz. You are literally destroying their career by saying let them continue to study in a place, don't tar them with the same brush. Nobody is tarring the students. We are pointing at the university and saying, how dare you say you had nothing to do with this or had no idea of this, when you are jeopardizing innocent students by letting them be on a campus that is so broken up that it has radicalization happening, and radicalization happening to an extent where people have conducted a terrorist strike in the national capital while planning it on that campus. And you say, oh, don't go after the university. I'm sorry, I completely reject that. I care for the university. I care for the university students. But I want to see it end because they have completely shirked their responsibility to provide safe education for innocents and not for the terrorists, because they are the ones who were actually safe on campus until brave officers, as you said, you're the one who is called, defining them by their religion, Muslim officers for Jammu and Kashmir, each and every one of them an Indian citizen who have bravely cracked this conspiracy and resulted in this not becoming a much larger terror attack. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining me. We've got breaking news coming in now. A big key security meeting is underway now at Home Minister Amit Shah's house. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval has just arrived to meet with the Union Home Minister. This is undoubtedly pertaining to the probe into the Delhi blast on Monday. My colleague Manogya Loiwal breaking this for us first on NDTV. Manogya, tell us more.
Well, it's a very crucial and important meeting, Shiv, that is going on at the residence of Home Minister Amit Shah, including the Home Secretary as well as NSA Ajit Doval and several other security officers, important officials of MHA also joining him. Remember, the blast that shook the country on 10th of this month has left a lot of scars, and these would be healed, or rather there are security apparatus measures. There are review meetings that have been happening regularly, continuously. This is one of them, but important because there are multiple and series of meetings that have been taking place since the blast. Remember, Home Minister Amit Shah was one of the first to reach the location and LNJP hospital, followed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi just yesterday, but also given an idea and the kind of meetings that have been conducted. These are one of those review meetings of the information that has been trickling down from across the country after the raids that have been taking place, more than 200 raids in Jammu Kashmir, and series of raids and ED officials that have been instructed to take serious actions against the Al Falah University too.
Okay, very, very important meeting. We'll obviously not be reporting any details. These are classified meetings that takes place of the security and leadership establishment, but we will keep a track of this. This is the biggest story here on NDTV. Thanks for watching. That's it on India Matters tonight. Remember, 6 a.m. tomorrow, our big results day in Bihar coverage begins with Rahul Kaval. All of us will be up bright and early to bring you all of that counting day coverage. But up next, it's the Buck Stops here with Padmasha.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Edge 60 Pro. Grab Motorola Edge 60 Pro today.
I killed my plants.
Ah, bummer. Try putting them in the shower.
On it. Am I supposed to be in the shower with them?
Definitely not.
The all-new Motorola Razr 60. Dangerously cool.
Inspired by flowers. Bloom series fans from Usha. 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 Inspired by flowers. Bloom series fans from Usha.
पता है हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस आपकी फैमिली के लिए कितना जरूरी है? इतना जरूरी है कि भारत सरकार ने इस पे जीएसटी पूरी तरह से हटाकर जीरो कर दिया है। पॉलिसी बाजार पर अब 1 करोड़ का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 550 रुपए महीने से शुरू। policybazaar.com।
Every claim settled on time. Galaxy Health Insurance, a new standalone health insurance company with you forever.
This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Good evening and welcome. Thanks for tuning in to NDTV. I'm Padmaja Joshi, and on every story that matters, the buck stops here. There are many questions, many questions that you can and should ask after the Delhi blast that has now killed 13 people. But trust a section of our netas to quickly grab this opportunity with both hands to line their political nest instead, and that too in the most cynical way possible. As investigators uncover a pan-India network of young educated professionals who were planning to carry out half a dozen terror attacks across the national capital region, what is the kind of eye-opening analysis that we are getting to hear? Let's show you a sample. CPIM MLA Mohammad Yusuf Tarigami cautioned that innocents are being harassed in the name of an investigation. How does he know that all those questioned are innocent? Also, if questioning itself is now going to be branded a witch hunt, exactly how does he expect that a probe will proceed? Then there's former Home Minister P. Chidambaram. He queried, what are the circumstances that turn Indian citizens and educated persons into terrorists? A cryptic question, and actually that one would have liked him to give the answer to. Because that answer really is the elephant in the room. That answer is exactly what most politicians in our country refuse to even acknowledge, leave alone address. And that answer is, the reason that most, or rather some educated professionals are turning into terrorists is homegrown radicalism. Till the time our politicians continue to pussyfoot around this danger, nothing will change. And educated youth in India will continue to fall victim. But hey, why say something that you assume that will offend your core constituency? Instead, it's so much easier to bandy about conspiracy theories. Like Karnataka Chief Minister Mr. Siddaramaiah, who questioned the timing of the Delhi attack, linking it to elections in Bihar, a view that was also echoed by his minister Zamir Ahmad Khan. Both of them say, how is it that the blast happened on the 10th when 11th, the second phase of polling, was to take place in Bihar? By the way, doesn't this speculation that is insidiously being seeded in the narrative around the Delhi blast sound familiar? Are these politicians trying to paint the Delhi blast as a false flag operation by India? Are they saying that India killed its own citizens, presumably for political reasons, in order for the BJP to win an election? Can you imagine that this would be the first thing that would spring to someone's mind, even as the truth stares them in the face? The truth of radicalization so deep that even a formal education can't wipe it out. This isn't political correctness. In fact, this view of a false flag operation is echoed by our neighbor as well. And that's why I say this is not about
thinking of some other plausible reasons. This is far, far more dangerous and calculated. The question is, why is this being done?
हमको आश्चर्य क्या है, ये बम ब्लास्ट जो हुआ है 10 तारीख को हुआ है, 11 तारीख को चुनाव है बिहार के अंदर। अभी आप भी देखे होंगे हमारा कन्नड़ माध्यम के अंदर वो लोग बोल रहे थे कुछ पॉलिटिकल है क्या करके। हमको भी ये सुनने को आ रहा है कि इसके अंदर पॉलिटिकल इन्वॉल्वमेंट है करके सुनने को आ रहा है, पक्का नहीं बोलता हूँ। और ये जो भी पॉलिटिकल अगर बेनिफिट को एक आदमी की जान लेना है ना, उसको सही में उसको अच्छा नहीं होता है।
कुछ लोगों ने शरारत की, कानून के मुताबिक तहकीकात होनी चाहिए, लेकिन ये कहेंगे आप हमारे सब डॉक्टरों पर शक शुबा किया जाए, वो मुनासिब नहीं यार। हमारे डॉक्टर काफ़ी बहुत अच्छे डॉक्टर हैं, उन्होंने डिग्रियां हासिल की है। महज शुबे पर, महज शक पर परेशान नहीं किया जाना चाहिए, तहकीकात ज़रूरी है।
ठीक ढंग से देखते नहीं और कोई नहीं मिला तो मुसलमानों को पकड़ो, ऐसा मत करो।
And let's take that question across to the guests who are joining us now. Tuhin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP, Karan Verma, political analyst, Sushant Sareen, senior fellow at the ORF, Bhavya Narsimha Murthy of the Congress will be joining us in just a bit. And that question I want to ask you, Advocate Varis Pathan, national spokesperson of the AIMIM. Mr. Chidambaram actually raised a good question. Why are young educated Muslims turning to terrorism? What's the answer to that?
Well, Padmaja, first and foremost, the blast that rocked Delhi and killed several lives, I condemn that, a terrorist act, and whosoever is guilty, whosoever is involved in blast which took innocent lives must be given the severest punishment. And we have always been against the terrorism and terrorist activities. We always condemn, and I in strong word condemn the terrorist act that took place in Delhi, and there should be no leniency showed to the people who are involved or the conspirators who are involved in the blast that rocked the city of Delhi. Now, the second most important thing is, what was the intelligence doing, Padmaja? Is it not the intelligence failure? When the Article 370 was abrogated, the Modi said that henceforth no terrorist activity would take place. But what we saw was Pahalgam, and now then we are seeing in Delhi. Is it not an intelligence failure that a man was moving in this car with so much ammonium nitrate or whatever ammunition he was carrying? How could 3,000 kilograms of this assemble? What was the intelligence doing? Now, third and important thing is that for few people, see, every individual, every Indian Muslim has strongly condemned the act of terror committed in Delhi. Strongly condemned. But for few people, the entire ecosystem from the BJP is targeting the Muslim community, and they're labeling everybody as the terrorists, jihadis. What is this going on in the country? Who? We condemn it. This is the time when everybody must stand hand to hand, shoulder to shoulder, and fight the terrorist and terrorist activities in our country.
But
if Delhi is not safe, which part of the country is
Mr.
safe?
Pathan, who is saying? Who is saying that all Muslims are terrorists? Who is saying it? Other than you, I haven't heard anyone else say it. Who is saying this?
My thing is only simple, that you should not equate any person, caste, religion with terrorist activity. Terrorist is a terrorist, and he does not have any religion. His intentions are
Mr. Pathan, who said this?
The minds of the people by indulging into such kind of activities.
Varis Pathan, you are again engaging in generalities.
Were they Muslims?
People are saying.
But the killer
Which
of
people are
was he a Muslim?
Name me one person who said
it. The train, the constable in the train asked people their names and they shot down. Was he a Muslim? No. So you don't say that polarization. Okay.
Varis Pathan, I'm asking you a simple question. One, who said that every person is like the young people who turn to terrorism? Who said this? Who has said it?
Well, I don't know.
But you just said that an entire ecosystem is calling all the Muslims in India terrorists.
Yes,
I, with all the responsibility, say this is not the case. In fact, if anything, when you try and give cover fire to a bunch of radicalized people, you are disrespecting the Muslims of this country, assuming that they will have sympathy for these radicals. No, they don't.
No, the radicals are there. The radicalization is taking place everywhere. Who radicalized those people who shot at our party president's convoy, Asad Owaisi's convoy? Who radicalized them? Who radicalized the constable who shot the innocent Muslims in the train? So there are radicalization going on everywhere, but you cannot blame a particular community.
Nobody is blaming the community. Again, you are changing the goalpost. I will ask you very simply,
what they are saying against the Muslim community.
I will again ask you very simply a question that the former Home Minister of our country has very correctly raised. What is it in our country that is making young educated professionals to turn to terrorism?
Is this question posed to me?
Yes, it is to you.
Why they are turning into terrorism? Who is radicalizing them? Who radicalized the constable? Senior constable who was traveling the train and some innocent Muslims asked their name and they called them. And he killed them. Who radicalized the killers of Indira Gandhi? Who radicalized the killers of Rajiv Gandhi? Who radicalized the killer of Nathuram Godse? Nathuram Godse was inspired by the RSS ideology who killed our father of the nation. So here you cannot say that any person, if an educated person is indulging into this kind of activities, more severe punishment for him. Because he has taken education, if he is a doctor, is indulging into terror activities, give them the severest punishment.
You still haven't answered the question. I will try one last time and then I will open up this debate.
But you cannot.
Who radicalized Dr. Umar Mohammed? What is the factor responsible? Because these questions cannot just be asked and left open-ended. It's a real problem that not just our country is facing, sir. By the way, the bombers behind the London attack, where the London tube, where the London buses were attacked, all of them, they weren't people who came from outside. They were all British citizens, including one, the youngest bomber, was actually a second-generation British citizen. What made him turn into a bomber? Why are we facing this problem now? Who radicalized Umar Mohammed? Waris Pathan.
Now, whoever radicalized Umar Mohammed, or how did he get into radicalization, or what was his intentions, what were his malafide intentions, should be interrogated, investigated, and if he has committed this act, punish him, hang him. Nobody would object to him. We would say that, okay, the terrorist must be punished, but you cannot blame the community for that. For few people, you cannot blame the entire community with the Twitter it is going on, Padmaja.
Okay, let me open this up now. Tuhin Sinha, your ecosystem, I assume when he says an entire ecosystem, your ecosystem is trying to demonize a community because it benefits you to use one terror attack, not address your own failings, and then just turn an entire community into the enemy and reap political benefits.
Well, Padmaja, I'm absolutely shocked at the despicable attempts of the Congress party and now Waris Pathan to provide cover fire to educated terrorists. Now, P. Chidambaram ji has raised the question, he says there needs to be a distinction between conventional foreign-based terrorists and educated terrorists. Now, let me give you some examples of educated terrorists globally. Michel Saab, 2023, United States. A 32-year-old software engineer from New Jersey was arrested in 2021 and sentenced to 12 years in prison in May 2023 for plotting ISIS-inspired attacks on US landmarks like the Statue of Liberty and 9/11 memorials. Anjem Chaudhry, United Kingdom, a 57-year-old Islamist preacher and former law lecturer, was re-arrested in 2023 and sentenced to life imprisonment in July 2024 for directing the banned terrorist group Al-Mujahirun and supporting ISIS. So there are multiple examples. Now the point is, these educated terrorists are dreaded monsters. They are the biggest security threat globally. But unfortunately, the approach, the attitude of the Congress party poses an equally grave danger to the country. We are reminded of 2008 Batla House encounter when Sonia Gandhi apparently shed tears as claimed by her own party member. And today you have P. Chidambaram who's rushing in to normalize terror and say...
How is he normalizing? How is he normalizing?
Why should we create a distinction between terrorists? First they tried to create a distinction between freedom fighters. Now they want to create a distinction between terrorists. They want to create a distinction between foreign, terrorism emanating from abroad and educated terrorists within the country. What else is it? Terrorism in any form is non-acceptable, and an exemplary punishment will follow this time to make sure that all those people who are fantasizing about jihad never...
Well, to win a terrorist is a terrorist, whether educated or uneducated. And if it is educated person like a doctor, severest punishment must be given to him. But don't punish the entire community. How can you...
Don't change your goalpost. A terrorist is a terrorist. The discussion is about that. The discussion is about the cover fire which some political parties are trying to provide. Whether it is Zamir Ahmed Khan, the Karnataka minister, whether it is Hussein Dalwai, or whether it is Anuma Acharya with their frivolous, flippant and disgusting comments.